Hello and welcome to Long's Toys. I have a Kamen Rider Drive review for you. This is TK-06 Machine Chaser. Here he is in the box. Nice picture on the side here. Got the big skull motif working. Up top it shows you how his gimmicks and weapons work. Another picture on this side. Some pictures here of him fighting Drive. His bike. So all very cool. We'll go ahead and get him out of the packaging and take a closer look. So Machine Chaser comes with all these accessories you see here. He's got this piece which kind of acts as the main tire, and it has the kind of tendril pieces that snake out to form the like snake or cobra mode. This piece on here which will be used for the spider mode, and then this piece which will be used for the bat mode, and I will show you how they all combine. And then he's got this little brake gunner, which I think looks pretty good. Try to zoom in here. Not a ton, I mean a lot of detail, but it's only got the one bit of purple up top, but it's kind of all you need. I think it looks pretty good. As far as Machine Chaser goes, he looks great. A lot of detail. I like the metallic-y purple. Really well done. I really like his head sculpt. I'll try to zoom in a little bit more. Here I'm going to have to move this up. There we go. I think it's really, really cool. A lot of detail went into the head there on top above the eyes. And I really like the one giant orange eye. So I think that's pretty neat. He does have a lot of black to him, which is kind of making it difficult to show up on camera here. Articulation wise, he's got ball joints in the ankles, 90 degrees at the knee, like a thigh swivel right above the knee, kind of the hinge and pin swivel up here for the hip. He's got waist articulation, wrist articulation, the two sets of fingers, the swivel and the 90 degrees at the elbow, and then the kind of pin swivel up here at the shoulder. Now he has these two shoulder pads, but you can move them out of the way so they don't hinder the motion at all, and then you can just kind of fold them back in. And then ball joint for the head. Now it moves really nicely side to side. It can kind of move back a little bit, but it mostly only moves forward. So it's a limited ball joint there in the head. But overall, I think he looks really good. I really like the design and the detail, and I really like the kind of chromy purple. Here he is from the back. Now his tire gimmick does stick out pretty far from the back. That's kind of my only complaint, but it's not that big a deal. And it makes for a sleeker figure from the front. So for his accessories, you can go ahead and put the brake gunner in his hand, and he holds it very well, and I think it looks great. You can even kind of do the pose where he pushes it with his hand to transform, so I think that's pretty cool. I always appreciate when the figure can actually mimic things they do on the show. As far as his tire gimmick goes, you start off with this piece here, which you can see has a peg, a big thick, there's two pegs, there's a thinner peg and a thicker peg. And I'll move him out of the way just so you can see. You're going to take the thicker peg and you're going to put it in this hole here. Now you're going to want to do it with the more, like on this side the swivel is gray because you can see where the piece pegged in. You want to use the other side. And just go ahead and pop that right on. And then this piece has a swivel that comes out just like that. This piece right here. And that's just going to tab in up here. So that slides in, and then you can fold it back down. Oh, I'm sorry, did I do this wrong? Yes, I think I slid it in upside down. You need to do it this way so it starts out down. That's my mistake. You want this to be up top, almost like it has a handle. Because then it can flip up. but it can't flip the other way. So then there you go. Once you have the entire backpack, you bring him back in and you just pop it on his back. Now the nice thing is the second little tab can peg into this little hole right here in where the silver circle is, and that'll kind of stabilize it so it won't really spin around on his back once you pop in the tire section. Hold on. It's giving me the business here. There we go. Alright, so the tire's on and it's pegged in. So now he's got it on his back, which I think looks pretty good. You can fold the wings out here if you want him to fly around, which looks kind of cool. Kind of gives him like wings for like a Grim Reaper feel, which is pretty neat. To go ahead and do like the forms when he uses the viral cores, you're going to unsnake this and unpeg this from the back. I'm just going to take the whole thing off to show you because it's easier. You want to make sure you unpeg this. Then you're going to lift this piece off and bring this around so that just the circle part, there's a second coil here. And the wings do kind of get in the way, but you can rotate them around. So you'll see here that there's a second coil. So this stays connected. The coil comes around. And then there's a little hole here on his wrist, which that peg that was used to keep it on his back is going to go into. And it's a little difficult. You kind of have to make sure you get the arm right for it to peg in. Whoops. There you go. But once you get it pegged in, it stays in pretty nice. And then you can just unfold the snake part the rest of the way, and that makes his Cobra weapon. If you want him to use the bat weapon, you just close this back up. And then unfurl the bat wings, and that's kind of his like bat archery mode. So you can see that there. And then for the spider mode, you close this back up again and just flip this piece around, and that's kind of his spider like sword or spider weapon that he just slashes with. So pretty cool. The only problem is because of the way it connects and because like I kind of wish there was more mobility in this piece, like maybe a swivel in the middle or something. There is a swivel right here, but then there isn't anything that swivels down here. And it just kind of limits, once it's connected to the arm, it kind of limits the mobility because you're kind of twisting it around. You can't really like get a crazy ton of poses because it's pegged into the arm. So while I do think the gimmick is cool, I kind of wish that this connector piece here had more like swivels or mobility in it. That way you could get more poses and the arm was more fluid. It really hinders the movement once it's connected to the arm. And I just wanted to show that the tire port on his back is the same as anything else. So you can bring any other tires in here and you can wear them on the back, which I think looks pretty cool. It doesn't really do much as far as attacks. It just kind of hangs on his back and looks cool. But like say for example with Massive Monster, you could peg it on his back still in the shell. And he kind of looks like a Ninja Turtle. Or of course you could take it out and he could hold the weapons. And the Massive Monster tire kind of fits nicely with his color scheme. So you could kind of pop that on the back. And then he could hold any of these weapons. So it is cool that he can use any of the other tire Kokons. So I like Machine Chaser as a figure, but I do think his gimmick doesn't work all that great. I love the brake gunner, so if you just want to kind of pose him with the brake gunner or use any of the other tires with him, they all look great. And I do like the look of his Cobra, Spider, Bat tire, but it's just once you connect it to the arm, that first tendril that goes from the backpack to the arm doesn't have enough mobility, so it really hinders the poses you can make with the arm. So if you can get him in a good pose and you just want to leave him there, great. You know, he could really work out. I kind of just think I'm going to keep him posed like this because I really do like the look of the figure. It's just that his gimmick doesn't work 100%. Not to say that it's terrible. It's just it's really limited by the lack of mobility on that tendril from the backpack to the arm. So if you are just looking for a really good representation, you might want to pass on this and wait for the figure art that's been recently announced. But if you're looking to stay in the budget line and not go for the more expensive figure arts, I definitely think this guy's a fine representation of the figure if you're just looking to put him in a cool pose and leave him there. As far as playability, it is a little bit hindered because of the gimmick. But otherwise, I think he's pretty good. I mean, he's definitely cheaper than the figure art, so that's definitely the route that I'm going to go, and I do think it's a pretty good representation. So, it's really up to your opinion. But I'd love to hear from you guys. Please tell me what your opinion is in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Please like and share this video. Please subscribe if you haven't already. If you'd like to check out my Facebook and Twitter, they'll be in the description below. So I hope you've enjoyed this review of TK-06 Machine Chaser from Kamen Rider Drive. And thanks for watching.